Plaintiff Cheryl Craig says the defendant is her son, and when he was 11, he started stealing cars and getting in trouble with the law. Cheryl claims the defendant dropped out of school in 8th grade, and she's suing him for a bail bond. Defendant Robert O'Brien says as a child, Cheryl was an alcoholic and a drug addict, and as a result, he got caught up with the wrong crowd and was in and out of jail. Robert says while in jail, he got his GED and eventually went to college.
Start with you.
Robert's my son. He's my middle son, my only son. I have 2 girls and 11 grandkids and 6 great-grand. Robert started getting in trouble at an early age, as 11. He started stealing cars, hanging with the wrong people, the wrong crowd. He has been a juvenile. Robert dropped out of school in the 8th grade. I had tried to talk to Robert, but to go back to school, finish his education, but he didn't listen. Robert constantly got himself in trouble. Myself, I 22 years clean from drugs and alcohol, and I thank God, 22 years. Yeah. And I thank God for that.
And how old is he?
Huh?
How old is your son?
Robert is 35.
You were clean 22 years?
I've been clean 22 years, Your Honor.
Since he was 13?
Yes.
But prior to 13, what were you addicted to?
I was addicted to drugs, crack cocaine, and alcohol, and cigarettes, and heroin.
And he observed that, or at least he observed the lifestyle that resulted from your addiction, and no doubt was affected by it. So let's not leave that part out.
Right.
But that's no excuse. My mother was a very strong Christian woman and wasn't on anything other than the Bible. And I still did the same thing. So I'm not trying to put it on you, but what has happened since you've been clean the last 22 years? Because as you say, he was 13 by that time.
Well, I'm a born-again Christian. I graduated, I went to college and got a social, I got my bachelor's in human services.
All right.
I worked for North Chicago School, District A187 for 16 years. Now I'm on disability due to I have been on dialysis for 8 years. Praise God.
And what has your son been like? He's been troubled all those years since you've been in recovery?
Well, he have been in
What
and
other
out.
type of things? I know you say in and out of juvenile, obviously adult jail or prison.
Have been in prison for drugs, selling drugs 2 or 3 times, driving with revoked license, which I have copied.
Total amount of how many years, if you can recall?
It's been over 20 years.
Yeah, you spent 20 years in prison? Mm-hmm. How you get caught so much, man? Go ahead. So let me hear from you.
I was getting told on.
Hold on. Go ahead.
Start off, I was young, in and out, in trouble. My mother, alcoholic and addictions. I was with the wrong crowd, young, playing around and in and out of jail, started selling drugs, and it started from home.
What do you mean by started at home?
Well, I mean, it started with from the root of all problems, their addiction and all that stuff. So we grew up in the projects, seeing in and out, hanging around crowds, the whole thing. I grew up. I matured. I went to school. I never dropped out of no school. Never did that. I went to jail. I was in high school and went to jail, and that's how I got up. But I ended up going to jail, getting my GED, and going to college also. Good. So I do everything to try to change my life from going back. Good. I also try to lead off an example. I'm a father, and so I can't teach my kids or my stepchildren about don't sell drugs, don't steal this, don't do none of that if I'm doing it myself. Mm-hmm. So if I tell my kids, my son, them, hey, you need to go get a job and something like that, well, how is it gonna do it if they see me on the couch or I'm in and out? So I had to lead by example. So when I came home, I went to jail 2010. I got raided. I was gone. They gave me 8 years for selling drugs, and it took a toll. I went to jail. My daughter was 13 months old. I come home, she was almost 5.
8 years. You must have had some weight.
So
kilos? How many kilos?
Everything.
See, I know the game.
Oh.
I know exactly. Quarter key, half key, or key. Now that key, you'd have got 20. So you probably had a quarter key. Well, either that or a conspiracy. You say the guys told on you, so you had a conspiracy case. They didn't even catch you with anything. They got you on the phone. You shouldn't have been talking on the phone. You should know better than that. What were you doing?
They came to my house.
Yeah, but you had wiretaps on you from talking on the phone.
Yes.
Thank you. I know how it goes. I know how it goes. You don't get a conspiracy for the most part, even if they told on you. Unless you're on them phones, you're going to prison. For all you little smart drug dealers, you get on that phone, you're going to prison. Am I right or wrong?
You're right.
Then, right now, they're getting those text messages. You all think, well, if I text, they're going to get me. You think the feds ain't thought of that? Think you're the only one thought of that?
Right.
So, glad you've recovered. How are your children doing?
Beautiful. Well.
Good. Now, the question is this bond you're suing about.
In May of 2016, Robert had called me. He lost his license, and I had practically preached to him, Robert, stay out driving cars. He owned about 2 or 3 cars, but he just so hard-headed, he's still driving behind. He keep telling me he gonna go check and see if it's, So he got called up in 2000, I think it was around about May or June of 2016.
And what? You just told me you were out of the game. What?
No, he was in the car, driving with revoked license.
Okay.
So, the first thing he always did was call me. Mama, I need to borrow. I'm in jail. He said his bond was $20,000. That he needed $22,000 to get him out. So, at first I thought about it. I said, no, because I've been bonding him out, because he's my only son. I love Robert, and I'm proud of Robert. And he got him a job that he liked. And, I said, well, because my children told Mom, you've been running behind Robert and chasing and getting Robert out for years and years. Robert don't want to apply with you because he owed me money from the previous year, but I had got some collateral from him. So that was.
Don't even tell me what it is. Go ahead. Go ahead, Val. You got some collateral from him.
Yeah, but it was a colored flow model TV.
Contraband collateral. Go ahead.
Yeah, it was a flow model TV.
Okay.
But anyway, I went and, got the money and went up there and I got him out because I wanted to see Robert keep the job he had because he liked the job.
And compared to all the other things he had been locked up for, that was relatively minor. Very minor. So he agreed to repay you?
He agreed to repay me back.
Did he give you a time frame?
He told me when he get to work and he was going to pay me $100 each month.
And did he get to work?
He had a job. He got back to work. Robert only paid me $100 bill. His agreement was to pay me every pay period. But like I told Robert, I just want my money back.
When was that last payment? Month and year?
This was in December 2017.
Okay.
In November.
When you've asked
that was the only payment. But I had been asking it. I always knowing he had been out of Vegas. He went to St. Louis. He went all over.
Can't give you your money.
But he can't give me my money. Even he had the nerve enough to come to me, Your Honor, and ask me for a suitcase. So he could go to Vegas.
He got a lot of nerve. Owes you money. Now he want to borrow your suitcase to put his money in.
On a trip.
He fresh out of Vegas where he meeting up with folks. You better watch that because they pulling him out of the line now. All these cats going to Vegas for the fights. The DEA, let me holler at you. That's just what they doing now. Am I right or wrong? They pulling them out of line when they're there at the gate. Feds sitting there waiting on. Can I talk with you? Can I look in your bag? What did you have 50,000 for? Cash. I was going to spend it on making it rain. Now they might buy that because these suckers are putting 50,000 in the air at strip clubs, so they could buy that now. Nonetheless, let me hear from you, sir, about paying your bail to your mom.
Well, to start off, sir, back like I was saying, young, in and out of jail, there was no support. There was no calling my mom. No, it was you make that. Don't call me. That's what the first thing. So. Years after years, don't call mom. I was driving, I caught an incident, caught a DUI. I didn't call my mother. I never talked to my mother. I called my wife. Hour later, my wife will pop up. Bond, sir, let's go. Okay, I get out. I see my wife. I give my wife a kiss. See my mom. All right. My mom said, hey, I did this out of kindness of my heart. And I'm looking like, well, wow, that's awesome. It's the first time my mom did this. Now I have to take you back because now there was no relationship with me and my mom. Her relationship is with her daughters, not with me. I'm the black sheep. So I make it, been trying to do it, and I've been basically tap dancing, not for myself to get myself together with my kids, but try to get to some kind of acceptance from my mom. You know, like, hey, mom, look what I'm doing. Look what this is what I'm going forward. This is what I'm going backwards.
Don't you think she appreciates your progress?
No.
Ma'am?
Yes, I do, Your Honor. I love my son. In all these many years, my daughter here is my witness. She'll tell you, I've been rescuing him.
No, I'm not asking that.
Yes,
I'm asking
I love
about being proud of him at this point of where he came from.
That's right, I am very
He got
proud
a
of
wife, he has children, he has a family in
And
the
I
same
am proud of
household.
him.
Clearly he's not in the game, otherwise you wouldn't have to sue him for $1,900.
That's right.
You should be proud of where he's come
I am very
from.
proud of my son from where he came as being 11 years old.
You proud of yourself?
And I am.
From where you
I
came
am.
from?
Yes, I am.
Well, be
I'm
proud
very
of him.
proud. I'm proud of each other.
All right, well
Both
he
of
must
us.
not know it, so let him know from
I
time
tell him
to time.
I love him. I hugs him. I embrace him. I
Yeah,
love
but
him.
he still wants to know that he has earned your approval. A big part of your children's life is getting the approval. And I want to work and get the approval on that. He know he disappointed you. So now he's doing things not only to get the approval of his wife. You heard what he said about his children. That's important
Right.
to him. And you just heard he wants your approval as well. That's
And if
important
he
to
didn't
him.
have my love and approval,
Okay.
I wouldn't have gave him my $2,000.
That's a good point. You're right. That was her approval, sir. That was her acceptance. Why you don't want to give her money back? You gave her 100 of it.
No, sir. She never told me I had to pay my mom back. She told
Why'd
me
you
she did
give
out
her
of love.
100 then?
Because she asked. It wasn't no here go 100
All right, she
alone.
asked?
She asked.
Asked for
she needed money
$1,900.
for. She needed money for. for
Robert,
traveling
can I have
expenses.
my $1,900?
There it is. Judgment for the plaintiff. She asked, y'all. She asked.
Well, I'm glad it's over with. I'm glad I'm gonna get my $1,900. I love my son. I'm very I'm proud of my son because he have made progress. And I'm sorry he feel like that towards me. And I just want to hug and tell my son that I love you, Robert. And I've been with you ever since I brought you in this world.
It ain't no real love. That's phony. I'm glad it's over with. I'm glad she got it because they money hungry. That's what they. Hey, I'm glad. Now the question is, how do you build a relationship after this? Where do you go from here? You can't.
Well, it's up
This
to
is
you.
damage.
You a Christian,
No.
you will find a way.
No, lady, it's okay.
I found a way.
I love you. God bless you. No problem.
Amen.
Plaintiff Clarissa Adams says the defendant is her oldest daughter. And in middle school, she started rebelling, skipping school, and running away. Clarissa's suing her today for the value of a car. Defendant Larissa Adams admits that she was rebellious, but insists that's because Clarissa was a drug addict who was never around. Larissa claims as a result, she was forced to raise her two younger sisters, and she's countersuing for emotional distress.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you, Clarissa.
This is my daughter. Had her at a young age. I was actually in high school.
What type of child was she growing up?
Semi-rebellious for the most part.
Did smoke half the cigarette?
Actually, no, she wasn't even a smoker.
Well, then what's the kind of then?
You know, she ran away. Tried to fight her sisters, or possibly didn't really want to go to school and hung out other places.
What age did she do that?
It started in middle school.
Okay.
She became sexually active in middle school and kind of started skipping more or less when she got to high school. But then I put her in Red Cat Academy to try to, straighten her out a little bit or what have you. And that pretty much, I guess, caused even more rebellious.
How so? What did she do there at the academy?
It was within the high school, but the classes were held away, like in another building from the school. So it was just another way of like basically kind of keeping them focused. And I really think it was like a program to hopefully get their minds to wanting to go to the service of some sort.
Did you take her to counseling?
Once she had to have an abortion at the age of 14.
You went to counseling then?
Somewhat, yeah. We went to counseling.
Okay. All right, and you didn't see improvement?
No, not
All right,
really.
let me talk to you about it. This is more concerning to me than the car being towed.
I appreciate that.
I want to hear about you as a person and whether you encountering these type of obstacles still in your adult life, and has it affected you? Let me hear from you.
Well, good afternoon, Judge.
Good afternoon.
Me being here today proves my relationship with my mother. Was I a rebellious teen? Yes, I was, because as a kid, I had to deal with things that a kid shouldn't have to deal with. My mother was on drugs. My mother, she wasn't there. She is.
What type of drugs? What type? Pardon?
To this day, I still don't know what drug, but I do know we did not have stable housing. When we did have a house, we did not have utilities. I had to take care of my two younger sisters.
Oh, they would beg to differ.
Okay, well, she's in her. Hold on. She wants to say something, I guess, about what you're saying. Were you on drugs, ma'am?
No, I was not on drugs.
Okay, good enough. She said she wasn't. She said she wasn't. All right.
She definitely was. Like I said, there was moments where we had to live with other people. There was an instance that I can remember where she was with a drug dealer and she would just basically ride past me and my little sister. Like, we just wasn't there.
Why do you think she feels this way, ma'am, if none of this is true, according to you?
It's selective memory. I'm pretty sure her sisters would beg to differ. If we lived with other people, it was due to my financial situation, being a single parent.
That's what I'm saying. Why do you think she feels this way? She is how old?
She's 33.
Yeah, you're 33.
Children.
She's not rebelling anymore. She's living her life as a 33-year-old. Why does she still think that of her childhood?
I don't know, because I have
all right.
taken care of.
Ma'am, are you hallucinating? Are you hallucinating?
No, sir. No, sir.
Were you hallucinating when this occurred?
No, sir.
She said none of this is true.
Wow.
She is telling a lie. What I can't
She can't tell me why you're making it up. I'm curious why you're making it up. Why are you making it up?
I would never.
I know, and I shouldn't trivialize what you went through in life because
everything she said about me is correct. Like the things that I did as a teenager, everything she said is correct. But I need for her to own what she put me through to make me rebel, to make me want to run away.
Oh, that's not true.
Okay, that's what your daughter feels about you. What happened with the car that you're suing her about?
My car was left in her possession.
When?
Since November of 2019. I came back several times. January, February, March. Drove my vehicle. I actually had an oil change. If my vehicle was leaking, they would have let me know that it was leaking. It was not leaking. I have the ability to fill my tank up. Nothing leaks. And it just so happens that she drove it when I was still in. One of the times I came back, she drove it. She had the ability to drive it. I gave her permission to drive it. She had the keys. But for some reason, one of the times she drove it, it no longer was operable. When I started my car in May, when I went to pick up my grandkids, when I started it, gas and pretty much started leaking from my vehicle, which never happened.
And she had been driving it, you say?
Yes, she even
Okay.
said she drove it twice.
All right.
I drove your car twice.
And what did the mechanic say was wrong with it?
Mechanic didn't say anything was wrong with it. There was
Okay,
nothing we
then
could
why
put
are
my
you
cover
suing? The
on.
mechanic said wasn't nothing wrong with it, so why are you suing?
I wasn't able to get it to a mechanic because it
All
ended
right,
up
so you
getting
don't know
towed.
you can't define what's wrong with it for me. Sorry. You have to be able to tell me what's wrong. And
Just
prove
when I
it. You
start
have
my
to be
car,
able to prove it.
gas
Did you
leaks
do
out of
anything
it.
to her car?
No, I did not.
Do you know of
When I
anything
drove the
being
car,
wrong with the car?
The car had a very horrible smell, which is why I never drove the car again. And I informed her of that. She had someone come look at it. She gave me back her keys.
No, she said she didn't have anyone come look at it. She said she didn't have a mechanic look at it.
No, he's not a mechanic, but she had someone come look at it. No, he's not.
Someone like who?
He's like her boyfriend or something.
A boyfriend,
Yeah.
but not a mechanic. That's
No,
my
not a
question.
mechanic, no.
All right. And you haven't had a mechanic look at it. Why, ma'am?
Because it got towed
When?
and eventually crushed.
When?
Well, it got crushed August 20th, but she never told me exactly the date that it was towed because for some reason the clerical error, it still said that it was a lien on my vehicle when there was no lien on my vehicle.
Did she take responsibility for your car when you left it?
What do you mean? Did she had?
In other
she had
words,
my title and my
did
keys.
you leave her with the responsibility and did she agree to accept it?
Yes, sir.
All right,
she did.
ma'am. When she left the car with you to go out of town, did you accepted responsibility for whatever would happen to it?
So I accepted responsibility when I was able to. I was 9 months pregnant, which is why she came to
Did
get
you
my
tell her
children
that?
on
Did you
bed.
tell her you were taking responsibility?
Yes, I did, and I let her know when I could no longer take responsibility.
When did you tell her that?
No, you did not.
When?
When she came.
I don't know when that was. When she came.
That was in
When?
May. I'm sorry, May of 2020.
There you go. Tell me, give me the scenario because she's going to tell me it didn't happen. Go ahead.
Yes, in May of 2020, she came to get my children because I was on bed rest because I was pregnant, and I was on strict bed rest. I could not go up or down the stairs. I was very sick, which is the reason why she came to get my children. At that time, she knows that I could no longer even take care of myself because I was sick. So how would I be able to take care of a car?
Ma'am?
I also
Go ahead. No, I'll let you finish.
No, I also informed her when the switchover happened with the management, that they were basically saying that your car had to be registered to the house. I gave her time to figure out what she was going to do with the car, and I put my old placard in her car to give her time.
Okay. Were you notified that they were going to tow the car?
I was not, because I was in the hospital having my baby. They put a sticker on the car, but I was in the hospital having the baby.
When did you know of the sticker being placed on
I knew
there?
of the sticker when I called to figure out what happened to her car, because when I came from having the baby, the car was not there. I reached out to my sister because at this time we were not talking. I reached out to my sister, asked her if she had someone come move it. When my sister got back to me and said she did not have anyone move it, I went through jumped hoops to try to figure out what happened to her car. The property management people informed me that they placed stickers on the car that was not moved. If they didn't get moved, then they were towing them.
Okay, good enough. And ma'am, you have to prove that whatever happened to your car, she did it. Gas leaks don't come in one day unless there was some type of accident. Otherwise, it could be old age and rust. So you have to prove that it wasn't old age and rust.
This is the thing, Judge. There was no old age or rust on my vehicle. I just had an oil change in February.
Yeah, that's oil change. We're talking gas leak. What year was your car? Ma'am, what year is your car? Ma'am, what year is your car?
2007 Buick Lucerne CX.
All right, what's your counterclaim for emotional distress?
My counterclaim is for emotional distress. If you look at the evidence package on page 18, I text her on June 7th because, like I said, in May, she came to get my children. To basically help me out. She has her moments of being a monster, but she has been a very good support.
What am I to see?
On page 18, sir. Page 18 through 19 is a text message I sent her after I had to drive 9 hours, 9 months pregnant to pick up my children.
You sent her a text message. I've been trying to find the words to say all day, but there's nothing I can say to make you understand my disappointment. While I know your intentions was pure to pick up kids and take them, what did she do?
The week and a half that my children was there.
Were where?
Was in Tennessee, Nashville, Tennessee, at my sister's house with her. She emotionally broke my kids down, except for one, the one that she favored. How
long ago was that? How long ago was that?
This year.
Okay. Go ahead. What symptoms have you seen to reflect that she broke them down and that it caused extreme stress?
She called my son.
I did not call him a
Sir, if you look on page, let me tell you.
She said she didn't, so we're gonna see.
No, she admitted it.
All right, we're gonna see, ma'am. Tell me the evidence. You're telling me the evidence.
Okay,
Where is it? Somebody lying. And the liar loses today. What page?
On page 4.
There you go.
On page 4.
Yep. So I didn't text you. You didn't call my child a gay. Huh? I didn't have to drive to get my children. Their belongings weren't on the porch. All of that is definitely true. Wow. Wow. You said all of that is definitely true, including calling him. Wow. Something is wrong with you.
He punched his 7-year-old.
Have a good day. Your claim is dismissed, and I'll grant you yours.
Thank you, sir.
Like, I did not call him a. He punched his little brother in the penis.
That's not a reason to call no one a.
Girl.
Plaintiff Christina Van Artsdalen says the defendant is her daughter, and she was always a good kid until she dropped out of high school. After that, Callan started dating a much older man who got her hooked on crack, and Christina's suing her daughter today for unpaid loans. Defendant Callan Barrett says she and her mother have a rocky relationship, and Callan has always resented her for protecting Callan's father, despite the fact that he was physically abusive. Callan feels her mother is suing her prematurely.
Start with you.
Well, sir, first of all, I watched your show. I've really enjoyed it. I'm sorry to be here under these circumstances.
Thank you.
Callan is my daughter. I do love her very much. We always had a good relationship when she was growing up. She was never in any trouble. Until about 17 years old, she decided to drop out of high school to get her GED, which she still has not done.
Did she tell you why, or what is your observation?
I think she's a little scared that she might fail at it.
Was she already failing in school?
Yes.
She didn't get any tutors?
No, she went to a special school to help her catch up on her work. But then the school quit. I mean,
shut down?
It shut down.
Okay.
So she decided to get her GED.
Yep.
So
you want to say something?
If I could, sir.
Yeah.
Actually, I was suspended for getting into a fight, and I no longer wanted to go back. And that's when I dropped out.
All right. Did you get your GED?
No, I did not.
Why?
I've taken the practice test, and I can't pass the math.
Okay.
I'm horrible at math.
And they said, based on the scores you received, you would not pass the test itself, the GED?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you take a preparation course?
No, I did not.
All right. Well, I've never heard anybody passing it without a preparation course.
I had a book.
You got to count on yourself to go home and read it, and while you're looking up at the TV or use Instagram or you on the phone. No, you're going to have to go to a class setting.
I know.
And many of them are free. So particularly go to a community college and ask about the course. Am I right? But you gotta get a prep course. I don't see people passing that without that. And what else you want to tell me about your daughter that might be insightful?
Well, she after she was out of school, she was 17 at the time. I didn't find out about this until she was 18, which is probably several months after she met this older gentleman. He was very controlling, very dominating over her.
How old was he?
I believe at the time that she was 17 that she met him, he was close to 35, 37.
Okay.
And she just kind of felt like he knew everything. So she moved in with him, and he was very controlling. I found out several years ago that he did drugs. He got her using drugs. And at that point, our relationship it was extremely strained.
What type of drugs?
Crack.
That'll do it.
So if they needed something, of course, they would call. If they needed money.
And did she recover from that?
Yes, she did.
When?
It was probably about 6 or 7 years ago, maybe 8 now.
You've been in recovery all that time? You haven't relapsed? Or if you have, you haven't relapsed often, have you?
No, sir. I actually got into some trouble, and
While you were a crackhead?
yes.
Okay. You got in trouble? Good. And so what happened? How did you
I got an aggravated burglary charge, and so I was put on felony probation.
You going in there to get the money, or you heard they had a crack pipe in there? What were you going in there for? To get money to finance?
No, it was actually the ex-boyfriend, and he was actually in his 40s. He was like 45. He called me and told me to come get my dog. Because he had my dog and would not give her back.
So you were going there to get the dog, and then suddenly you just said, I think I'll burglarize this joint.
No, sir. He actually had another girl there who ended up getting in a fight with me.
Did you get convicted for this?
Yes, I did,
Yeah, because your story too long. You're talking too much. Well, let me tell you, whenever you get arrested and you go to trial, just make it real simple. Just make it real simple. No, Your Honor, I went there. My boyfriend convinced me in like 2 sentences. With the long story, that's the jury and the judge. They go to looking sideways at you. This story too long. She putting something on it. And when they putting something on it, that ain't true. All right, the loans. How does she owe you for that?
Well, okay, in her defense, I would just like to say that she did go down there and was set up on these charges. But anyway.
That's what she told you.
Well,
never seen a person in prison or jail who wasn't set up.
True.
Never.
So anyway.
What you here for? I got set up, man. You know I ain't do nothing. Is that you on that video? Isn't that you on that video with that gun? Yeah, but they were setting me up. I didn't know they were playing the video. But you did it. Yeah, I did it, but the person I robbed set me up. How did they set you up to have money hanging all out their pocket? They knew I was going to rob them. That was a setup. Everybody in prison. Go ahead, ma'am. So she was set up. Got that.
Anyway.
How does she owe you for the loan?
Well, she called me on January 17th or January 30th of this year and wanted to know if she could borrow $700 towards rent. They were a little short on money because of Christmas. So I agreed to go ahead and loan her the money. I lived out of state at the time, so I sent it to her via Western Union. And I do have that.
Okay. When was she to repay it?
We really hadn't set a time for that. She just said she would get it to me as soon as she could, even if she had to pay me a little bit every month, which was fine because when I was...
Did you all agree to a little?
At that time, yes.
No stated amount?
No,
When you
sir.
say at that time, what was the last time?
Well, the last time was on May 29th.
The last agreement occurred on May 29th.
Yes,
and
sir.
what was that?
That was for $800.
Per what? Total?
That was for an additional $800. So on...
She had paid some off?
No.
So you added another 800 on
Yes, sir.
because you loaned her another 800.
Yes, sir.
All right, and so that was in May. When did she agree that she would pay all of it off?
She agreed that she would start as of July 1st, repay me
And has
$300
she?
a month. No, sir, she has
Nothing?
not. Nothing.
All right, let me see the document you're looking at. Ma'am, what do you say to this?
My mother and I, we've always had a rocky relationship.
Rocky relationship. You mean that kind of rock?
No, I mean, my father.
She a smoker too, or used to be? Or?
No.
No?
No, she doesn't.
Oh, what are you saying? What kind of rocks, y'all?
It's a rough relationship.
Rough relationship. All right, go ahead. It's a rough relationship.
A rough relationship. I've always resented her because my father, he was very abusive to my brother and I. He used to beat us with rubber tubing, choke us, and
Choke you.
yeah, and she overlooked it. But I realize now that, I mean, because she was verbally abused by him as well. So I realize now that she was too scared to leave him, even though I had asked her to.
Ma'am, did you witness any of that? Him abusing the children?
I have seen him. I had seen him a couple of times approach
Did they
her.
come to you say he was doing it regularly?
I don't think he was doing it regularly. I know he had done it.
How often, ma'am? More than a couple times a year? A few times a year?
A couple times a week.
Whoa.
That I did not know, Your Honor. They had not.
We didn't really speak about it.
All right. And do you now understand why she turned to drugs to ease the pain? Much of drug use is related to easing the pain. Could be easing the pain of poverty. There's a lot of troubles and stress that you have to engage in, including the crime and the failures and the economic distress. And so you turn to drugs to ease the pain. Abuse, family abuse, you turn to drugs to ease the pain. Many other types of situations that folks find themselves in, they turn to drugs to dampen that pain. And so it sounds like that may have been one of the contributing factors. I'm sure she had a no good man somewhere back there who started her on crack, right?
Yes.
See, that's what happens all the time. No good man starting these women on crack. Then they'll go and get clean before her.
Yeah, right.
He's still not clean.
He's still not clean?
Nope.
So what do you say to the loans?
To the loans, I do agree that I owe her the money. I had talked to her and she said, because the first payment that was supposed to be made, I couldn't make it to her. My husband was having a rough time at his job. They were getting ready to shut down.
You weren't having a rocky time. Was you?
No.
You weren't having a
I'm not
rocky
gonna
time.
say rocks
all right,
anymore.
Rough, all right. No, y'all got a history of rocky times. Go ahead.
But he was we were having financial difficulties still. He just started a new job, so we're starting to get financially.
And did you explain and ask her to give you a little more time? Or, better yet, why didn't you give her anything at all? $100, $200.
We have two children.
Did you know that when you borrowed $1,500?
Yes.
Then how did you expect to pay then? You knew you had the same number of children you have now, which is part of your defense. How did you expect to pay it when you borrowed it?
I thought things were going to get better with his job, so
and
we
it
would
has.
have the money.
You just said it has. All right, well, good. You can pay it now. $1,500. Things have gotten better with his job. That's your judgment. Have a good day. Good luck to you.
I love you, and I want to have a better relationship with you.
That's all I wanted.
That's all I wanted, honey.
I love you too. I'm sorry.